Tonight on Cougar News, we catch up with a local 19-year-old who's running to be on the Hart School Board.
Plus, with Halloween this Saturday, we'll tell you how you can celebrate and stay safe.
Also, Golden Valley football goes for a historic upset. Cougar News starts now. This is Cougar News.
Hello and welcome to Cougar News. I'm Aaron Lanuza.
And I'm Jake Barabas. Here's the latest from the Cougar Newsroom.
Investigators with multiple law enforcement agencies, including the FBI, surrounded a Saugus home early this morning, arresting a man for allegedly running an online gambling ring, authorities said. The man was identified as 37-year-old Cyrus Irani and was one of 5 Santa Clarita Valley residents named in 126-count indictment issued in Queens County, New York today. Queens County District Attorney Richard A. Brown announced today that 17 people in New York, Nevada, and California were indicted in the alleged $32 million sports betting operation. Of the 17 named in the indictment, 14 were in custody prior to this morning's raid on the Saugus home, Brown said in a news release.
Most COC students have enough on their plate, trying to balance school with their work and personal lives. But one student is doing that and much more as he finds himself running in a unique race. Nick Vaverka has more.
Andrew Taban is not your average 19-year-old. A Santa Clarita resident, student, and advocate, he's still fresh out of the Hart School District and now is looking to be a part of it. This November, he's running to be on the Hart School Board, and it'll be an unusual election. A 19-year-old newcomer versus a 16-year incumbent.
My 2 top priorities right now are more meaningful engagement within our community as well as transparency in our district. But of course we have other educational goals such as closing the achievement gap. So that's kind of just one of the few that we're trying to work on. But those are transparency and the meaningful engagement in our community.
He's a busy guy, juggling his campaign, working with Gay Straight Alliance, and still staying on top of schoolwork.
It gets a little stressful between doing a club, doing campaigning, and doing classroom work and all that. But they're all something I enjoy. So it's not like a chore. It's fun to do. But yeah, it does get a little overwhelming at times, but it's nothing that's non-manageable.
So who's better for the job? The man with the experience or the young man who's still in touch with student needs?
We're dealing with people's lives, whether it's a student's life who's 11 or 12 years old, or whether it's a husband or wife who's teaching or working in our district as one of the 2,000 employees.
I have no conflicts of interest, no ties or promises made to special interests. I may be young, not very, but I may be, but I bring leadership experience, relevant and first-hand experience as a student leader, and a fresh perspective that the students and parents need.
With the election coming up on November 3rd, Andrew's working harder than ever.
It's been fun, it's been worth it. You get to meet amazing people, and you definitely get to start making an impact in the school districts as well as community.
His final message to voters?
Please vote Andrew Taban if you live in Chester Area 4.
For Cougar News, I'm Nick Vaverka.
Each year, nearly 400,000 people under the age of 25 die on the road. On average, over 1,000 a day. The Youth Grove Memorial in Central Park is dedicated to the Santa Clarita youth who have died in the traffic-related accidents. And on October 14th, the 10th anniversary evening of the Remembrance was held, adding 2 more youths to the memorial. Kimberly Pressler has more.
For the 10th year, the City of Santa Clarita and the Blue Ribbon Task Force hosted the Evening of Remembrance to honor the local youth ages 24 and under who have lost their lives to traffic-related incidents. The night started with the Walk of Remembrance that led to the half-acre Youth Grove Memorial in Central Park. With the addition of Curtis Thompson and Jennifer Stift at this year's ceremony, the memorial is now home to 93 individual pillars to which names are inscribed. Parents were given a white rose to place on their child's pillar bearing their name, and after the bell was rung, a glow stick was broken for each name read aloud.
Gino Jerome Moranti.
Over 100 community members showed up tonight to honor the 93 young lives lost to traffic fatalities. But there was one clear message that everybody seemed to have. 93 is too many.
Vow today, no more will lose their lives because we drive too fast. No more will die because we drive under the influence. No more will perish because we lapse in attention for just one moment. There are 93 names here at this site, and that is 93 too many. I can't believe it's been
Alice
10
Reynolds,
years.
whose two youngest sons, Danny and Timmy, were killed in a car crash in February of 2000, encourages everyone to spread the importance of driving safe.
I miss my kids every single day, and I don't want a parent to go through that. So any chance that we have to spread the word about safe driving, whether it's reckless driving, texting, drinking and driving, whatever it is, we need to get the word out to kids as well as adults. They need to know that that car they're driving is a lethal weapon.
For Cougar News, I'm Kimberly Pressler.
An aspiring game developer is doing everything in his power to create his own game. Here's Cougar News reporter Brandon Ashford with the story.
Becoming an entrepreneur is not an easy task. And for a Santa Clarita Valley resident by the name of Yale Winter, his journey to entrepreneurship has been quite interesting.
I've had a passion for the game industry and game developing pretty much my whole life. I've always wanted to make games since I was a little kid, maybe 8 or so. In middle school, I would actually make games and kids would play it during lunch in Whistler, BC in Canada. So, I've always wanted to do this.
Yale attended the Art Institute in Santa Monica, where he learned to hone his skills in game development and artistry. And during his senior year, Yale decided to take a big risk.
And I decided to leave school knowing that I would lose my full tuition scholarship to go and start working on this game that I wanted to create. And so I did do that, and I spent 6 months working full-time creating the art for this game.
After dropping out of school for 6 months to work on his game, Yale returned to the Art Institute to meet with his top advisor for some feedback.
And, he looks at it. I'm all like gleamy-eyed, like, isn't my baby beautiful? And he's like, no, like you can't make a game by yourself, which is what he said.
Just totally shot you down.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, what a surreal moment. I had spent my whole life pursuing this goal, and I still am. And then to go to the person who's the top guy at a school that you're studying game art and design, right? And he just shuts you down like that. And the thing is, I didn't go to school to get a job in the game industry. I went to school to get more excited about making a game.
You think an experience like that would slow a person down? But for Yale Winter, it only fueled his entrepreneurial spirit. And his journey to becoming an entrepreneur still grows today.
The name of the game is Sky is Arrows, and the website is skyisarrows.com. And if you go there, there's just a bunch of links that'll take you to the Steam Greenlight page. And then when you're on the Steam Greenlight page, you'll see the trailer video, and underneath to the bottom left, there's a little button that says, yes, I would buy this game if it was available on Steam. Please go press that button. I want to get on Steam as soon as possible.
This was a Cougar News Spotlight brought to you by Brandon Ashford. For more, check out cougarnews.com.
Have you ever found yourself avoiding certain restrooms around campus or just avoiding them altogether? Sammy Giebers investigates the conditions of COC's bathrooms, what students have to say, and the reasons why certain bathrooms are worse off than others.
You may have recognized that some areas on campus seem to be a little bit more up to par and maintained than others. This is especially true for the campus's bathrooms.
I would describe the COC restrooms as modestly disgusting in the worst sense possible.
It seems that newer bathrooms tend to be rated higher among the students.
I think the bathrooms in Mentry Hall, the Artist Hall, they're not so great as compared to if you were going to go to the bathroom maybe at the new building or over even in the slightly newer one over there.
It seems that newer bathrooms tend to be rated higher among the students.
If it's older and you compare it to something that's newer, the newer one typically looks better, and regardless of what it is, car, house, clothes. So I think it's just a matter of perception.
While newer bathrooms seem fine, students have opinions to voice about the older bathrooms.
I don't use the bathrooms often because I don't want to, because they're really gross and I try not to go in there.
Disgusting. Very disgusting. You'd see graffiti all over the walls.
It seems like COC would have recognized a few of the problems by now, but students are not convinced it's the faculty's fault.
It's definitely the students' fault, only because they have access to these restrooms 24/7. They mostly go over there, during their class.
We're students, we're kids, we're going to do whatever we want. We really don't regard anything else.
I think they have a lack of respect for it, so they draw on the wall, or maybe the floor is dirty. But I also think some of the faculty too, like they probably don't care because it's the older building.
Some people are a little sloppier than others, and so unfortunately that takes its toll on the bathrooms. But I mean, we do make a concerted effort to ensure that the restrooms are kept clean.
While certain bathrooms have their problems, the upkeep of the restrooms seem to be reflective of the maintenance of the buildings in which they reside. Tune in for the next show to hear more of the students' opinion on the upkeep of their campus. I'm Sammy Giebers, reporting for Cougar News.
Earning a degree can be a tough but rewarding challenge in the modern world. I went to the University Center open house to find out how people can finish an upper division degree while staying local. Life can be hectic at times. With school, work, bills, and trying to maintain a social life, anybody would want that to be as easy as possible. Even staying local, while earning a degree from one of California's prestigious universities. And that's precisely what students from the Santa Clarita Valley came here to do last Thursday. They got more information how they could earn a bachelor's or even a master's degree from close to home, here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Tonight we are having our open house. We have this twice a year, once each semester, fall and spring. And during open house, we invite the University Center partners, which are five partnerships with National, Brandman, University of Laverne, CSUN, and CSUB, Bakersfield. And they come here and they talk to the students that are interested in the undergraduate programs that they offer, or graduate programs that they offer here at the University Center. It caters to the residents and the students here in the Santa Clarita Valley, because this is kind of a geographically isolated area where if you wanted to pursue a degree on campus, that would make you have to drive pretty far away. So we try to bring convenience for the students and the residents here so that they can achieve their goals of getting a higher education and make it easier for them.
This has been Jake Barabas reporting for Cougar News.
So Sammy, it sounds like there's an interesting video trending right now online.
Yeah, definitely. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. A student's violent arrest was captured in videos that went viral and started outrage. A South Carolina school resource officer got physical with a student when she acted up in class. The video shows the officer with his arms up by the student's neck, yanking her backwards and crashing her desk into the floor. The officer has been fired, with the sheriff calling his actions unacceptable. A Miami man is in the hospital after his family called 911 to report that an electronic cigarette exploded in his face. 21-year-old Evan Spallinger was injured in the face and neck after the explosion. It's unknown what caused the cigarette to explode, and information has not been released on the type or brand of the e-cigarette. Los Angeles County recognizes the growing problem of homelessness and is taking action. Yesterday, supervisors plan to set aside $100 million a year to construct and maintain affordable housing. Skeptics worry that there are other issues that require priority funding. They are also worried that the county does not have the money to fund the plan. The county recognizes that this plan won't end homelessness, but will help build for a future where people will be able to afford and keep housing. And that's what's trending. I'm Sammy Giebers. For more information and stories in and around the Santa Clarita Valley, you can check us out at cougarnews.com. Let's take it back to our anchors.
Thanks, Sammy. Crowds rallied for Justice or Else on the 20th anniversary of Million Man March. Reporter Khalik Osborne went to Washington, D.C. to get a closer look.
Led by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, more than 1 million black men gathered together in Washington, D.C. at the U.S. Capitol to declare their right to justice, known for the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March.
We're here to talk about justice. They couldn't identify him, but he still got 18 years plus life for 2 armed robberies he didn't do.
Saturday, October 10, 2015, there was a sea of people who stood for more than 10 hours, sharing, listening, hugging, crying, and praying for a day produced as a spirit of brotherhood, love, and unity.
There's no action. Black people have been talking for a long time.
All creeds and classes were present. Christians, Muslims, Hebrews, agnostics, nationalists, Pan-Africanists, civil rights organizations, fraternal organizations, rich, poor, celebrities, and people from nearly every organization were present.
Black men in unity everywhere.
It was a day of atonement, reconciliation, and responsibility. Congress shut down that day, and President Barack Obama was out of town.
You know, you look from the east to the west, north and south, we're all here for one goal.
The purpose was for black men to take responsibility for their own actions and to help develop their own communities and to atone for their lack of responsibility.
And say to women, your language must change as to how you address yourselves.
No, we drove 12 hours.
There was neither one fight nor arrest that day. There was no smoking or drinking. The Washington Mall, where the march was held, was left as clean as it was found.
It's unquestionably the greatest event I've ever been to in my life. And I would sincerely hope that anybody that didn't go to it would soon investigate it and research it and realize what a beautiful phenomenon it was.
Okay, hi Cougar family. I love and miss you guys so much. DC is incredible. We just came out to see how the Million Man March was, and it was fantastic. I met a couple of friends that I'm going to have until the end of time. So I miss you guys, and remember, reach for the stars because you can do whatever.
This is Khalik Osborne, Cougar News.
Santa Clarita is raising awareness for a serious cause. The Domestic Violence Center recently hosted the Purple Walk at College of the Canyons. During the walk, walkers got covered from head to toe in purple plaster to support the cause. Organizers hope to bring attention to a problem that touches many lives.
So we want people to think about us in a way that they can support us, like even little kids can support us, because 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence in their lives. 15 million children will witness domestic violence in their lifetime.
Coming up on Cougar News, Oktoberfest finds its way to Santa Clarita.
Plus, we'll tell you about some fun events and how to stay safe this Halloween. Don't go anywhere.
Art is life. Art is love. Art is patience.
Did you miss COC's production of Dracula? Or did the show leave you thirsting for more? Golden Valley's theater department has put on several performances of Dracula and closed tomorrow night. Come prepared for a night of horror, romance, and gore. The show is filled with familiar characters such as Dracula and the most famous vampire hunter, Van Helsing. If you still need a little more push to get into the Halloween spirit, seeing this show can definitely put you in the mood. Golden Valley put emphasis on not just the performance aspects of the play, but special effects as well. Makeup, costumes, set pieces, and lighting help set the tone. It is advised not to bring small children, as there are many loud noises, screams, graphic material. The show starts at 7 p.m. in the Golden Valley Theater, and general admission is only $10. Don't miss out.
Beer, a big tent, and more beer. That means it must be time for Oktoberfest. Sean Nichols gives us a taste of what's on tap.
Oktoberfest in Santa Clarita, celebrating Germany's famous festival. But just what is Oktoberfest?
Lederhosens, Steins, and drinking. That's pretty much it. Nice. Yeah. Beer.
The beer flowed, the band rocked, and games were played. But the real star of the show was the Crystal Palace, a genuine piece of Oktoberfest history. Event coordinator Peter Goosens explains.
This tent is a tent that we brought over from Belgium. It's a Spiegel tent, which is basically a traveling dance hall. And the word Spiegel means mirrors, so it has a lot of mirrors in there. This tent is from 1947, and they're very much wanted all over the world. There's only 35 of them left.
Attendees tasted throughout the night, sipping on beers provided by local brewers such as Wolf Creek and Newhall Refinery. The event was a success, selling out 2 nights this year as opposed to 1 night in 2014.
This is a fantastic experience. It's nice to have something like this close to home.
You know, I've known Wolf Creek for a long time. We've collaborated on a lot of projects together, so this seemed like the natural thing to do.
Reporting for Cougar News, I'm Sean Nichols.
Most people can agree that pumpkin carving is an old American pastime. And for the past 8 years, the Santa Clarita Aquatic Center has been making it just a little bit more interesting. Each year, the Santa Clarita Aquatic Center adds an extreme obstacle to pumpkin carving, opening their pool to local scuba divers for a 30-minute underwater pumpkin carving contest. Most scuba divers with equipment will jump to the occasion to go under. And on October 17th, 15 teams readied their scuba equipment and prepared for the dive.
Well, scuba divers, any chance they get to get into the water without having to drive to the beach, or especially in Santa Clarita, it's a good solid hour, they'll jump all over that. So an opportunity to carve a pumpkin on a Saturday night, bring it on.
Lifeguards and spectators watched from 13 feet above water as cameramen transmitted live footage of the event from the deep end.
Every stroke of the blade thought out and predetermined.
And when the time was up, divers and carved pumpkins surfaced, ready to display their work that had been done.
We're competing against them. I'm their mother.
And this is our second year doing it.
Yes.
So who do you think did the better pumpkin today?
Obviously us.
From themes we all know to pumpkins that can really give a good scare, only one pumpkin would get first place and receive brand new scuba equipment. The Ghost Rider, done by Mark Gibson of Canyon Country, and a member of the Santa Clarita Dive Club. I'm Aaron Lanuza with Cougar News.
Looking for something scary that doesn't break the bank? Lara Pikla checked out some spooky spots.
It's Halloween time again, and as usual, college students want to celebrate the holiday, but many are unable to afford the major attractions.
I don't really go to Universal no more because it's really expensive to get in.
Therefore, we decided to find some places that are not only free, but said to be haunted.
I feel like it's more genuine, like it's more like word of mouth, like, hey, check this place out. And I'd like be more, inclined to go do that instead of something that's set up.
Is this place haunted?
Well, I'd mostly go to these places just so I can go with friends who are superstitious, just so I can look at them and have a laugh. Kind of enjoy that.
And we found the friend Edgar is going to drag along.
I am very superstitious, actually. If someone tells me a place is haunted, I would believe it and I would get scared.
But will Edgar get his laugh?
So we've been here for several hours, but we did not see a ghost yet. But maybe once the sun goes down. For Cougar News, I'm Laura Pislo.
Halloween is a time where residents often decorate their homes. But one resident has gone much further than an average decorating and is ready to showcase. Halloween is around the corner, and naturally that means haunted scare houses, costumes, and a good thrill. SCV residents won't have to pay top dollar or wait until Halloween to get their scare they've been waiting for. Scott Sivley has a whole dark realm in his front yard and is asking all those looking for a good scare to drop on by. And whether it be a trip for the kids or an experience for the old thrill seeker, Beware the Dark Realm is scheduled to show in 2 ways.
So now here you are inside the banquet room.
Non-scare. And when the touring is over, the scaring begins.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was big and genuine. Oh, it was a
gosh. It was scary. It was just...
And if you're wondering how to get in on some of the action, well, just ask the king.
This is your king speaking from Beware the Dark Realm. Come visit us here at my castle at 28621 Sugar Pine Way. We're open the 23rd, 24th, 30th, and 31st Halloween night from 7 to 11 p.m.
Scott isn't new to these tricks either. He's been doing this for some time.
I started out in the San Fernando Valley in 1971 on Gothic Street. Great name of a street for to have a haunt on Gothic Street. And then I got married and moved to Sugar Pine Way. If you'd like to come through and do our haunt, all we're asking you is to bring a can of food and donate for the Santa Clarita Food Pantry here in Old Town New Hall.
And for SCV TV, I'm Aaron Lanuza.
Halloween is this Saturday, and it's important to remember to take necessary precautions before partaking in the holiday's festivities. Cody Taylor brings us some helpful Halloween safety tips.
Halloween can be an extremely fun time for the entire family, but there are many potential dangers you must familiarize yourself with to get the most out of your holiday. Trick-or-treating is one of the cornerstones of Halloween. It is an activity that requires a lot of planning in particular.
Always be careful at nighttime when you're crossing streets. Look for headlights, oncoming cars. Be careful of the people that are around you.
The Center for Disease Control recommends that children walk in either supervised groups or accompanied by a trusted adult.
When they started getting older and wanted to go trick-or-treating with their friends, I was pretty cautious with that one. Honestly, probably not until they were around like 13, 14, 7th, 8th grade. And then I was really nervous still.
I never let my children have anything that wasn't packaged by a major manufacturer, such as Hershey's chocolates, Reese's peanuts. I never allowed them to eat homemade candy apples or popcorn from people that I didn't know.
Many law enforcement agencies are recommending that any weapons used on costumes be obviously fake and plastic. Please try to avoid anything stiff and do not use anything that can be confused with a real weapon. For Cougar News, this is Cody Taylor.
So David, I hear there's a lot of commotion in a galaxy far, far away.
Definitely. Let me tell you about it. The end of 2015 is sure to be full of quality entertainment. Speaking of which, last week there was an awakening. Did you feel it?
The millions who have either seen or heard the final Star Wars trailer being released. The trailer lasted a little over 2 minutes and was action-packed from beginning to end. All of your favorite characters, including Han Solo, Chewbacca, and Princess Leia have returned, as well as a couple of new faces. This time, the rebels will be trying to stop a new threat called the First Order.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
The trailer premiered during halftime of the Eagles-Giants game this past Monday night. According to HollywoodReporter.com, the much-anticipated trailer had 16 million viewers during halftime. On YouTube, it got an astronomical 112 million hits online, bringing the combined total to 128 million views over the first 24 hours. Minutes after the trailer aired, the website Fandango was inundated with so much traffic that the website crashed, leaving fans lost and bewildered. Today, I'm happy to report everything is back to normal.
I reached out to Fandango.com and they issued a statement which read in part, movie theaters are continuously adding new shows on Fandango to meet the phenomenal demand. The enthusiasm for this year's most anticipated movie is out of this world, and we expect it to continue all the way until its debut on December 18th. Our first day pre-sales was previously held by The Hunger Games on February 22nd, 2012. The final movie of The Hunger Games is set to be released November 19th, called Mockingjay Part 2. Last week, a full trailer dropped of the new upcoming Marvel Jessica Jones show on Netflix. The trailer gives a preview of Jessica, Luke Cage, and glimpses of the show's evil villain, Gravekill. Set in Hell's Kitchen, Jessica is a superhero turned private eye whose dark past starts to catch up with her. The show stars Kristen Ritter as the title character, Mike Coulter as Luke Cage, and David Tennant as Kilgrave. The show is the latest entry in Marvel's upcoming Defender series. Back to you, Aaron. I can't wait to see it.
Thanks, David. A new way to pay is becoming popular as Apple creates yet another way to make iPhones more convenient for everyday life. Brooke Lohman has more on Apple Pay and how students at COC feel about the new form of payment.
In a generation filled with technology, electronic advances are very common. People now have portable computers that can message, scan, video chat, search online, write documents, and create presentations. But now Apple adds another feature to their very popular iPhones.
This is Apple Pay, which lets you shop in a faster, simpler way. For groceries and kicks, toys, and your lunchtime fix. It's safer than a credit card and keeps your info yours.
But is Apple Pay really as secure as they say it is? I asked several students at College of the Canyons what they thought about Apple Pay and how secure they really think that the feature is.
I don't think any kind of electronic payment is completely secure.
Like they're trying to keep us into like technology and everything, but at the same time it's kind of like not benefiting us.
Your information could be stolen, or like if you lose your phone or something, can people just have access to your bank accounts?
But is this disapproval caused by a lack of knowledge or by a lack of trust in the Apple company itself?
Even though I have the products and services, I would never use iPay because I just don't trust Apple.
But even with the uncertainty in Apple, many agree that Apple Pay could be a great idea, especially for the younger generations who are always on the go.
Yeah, I think it's a smart idea. It's you don't have to carry a wallet as much, which is good, you know. And it's so fast. It's convenient.
It's convenience. It's something that, you know, you can load up everything into one device. It's kind of like a personal computer that stays with you at all periods of time. But that's kind of what makes it more dangerous for us, because it has so much of our information, has so much of our personal life on there, that if Apple or someone else can access it, then, you know, what could they be doing with our information?
We all have the choice. So do we choose security or convenience? Do we trust in a company that's sold nearly 700 million phones? The choice is ours to make. I'm Brooke Lohman, reporting for Cougar News.
Still to come on Cougar News, will the Amgen Tour again call Santa Clarita home next May?
Also, Golden Valley pushes heart to the limit. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, this is T-Boz of TLC.
This is Batman.
I'm Michael C. Morona.
And I'm Danny Tamborelli.
Hi, this is Ming Chen.
This is Mike Zapsik.
Hi, it's Louis Anderson.
I'm Weird Al.
I'm Florence Henderson.
You're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching.
And you're watching. And you're watching.
And you lucky people are watching
Cougar News.
Cougar News. Cougar News.
Cougar News.
Cougar News.
You're watching Cougar News.
And I'm a cougar.
Stay tuned.
Habitat for Heroes.
Really, it's a story about people.
Letting people see that they're not alone, they're not isolated. We're here to help.
And we need to work on behalf of our veterans.
Then we can really change that veteran's ability to reintegrate into the community.
Habitat for Heroes is not just rebuilding homes, but it's rebuilding lives.
And that's the message we want to get across.
Get involved. Visit habitatscv.org and find out how you can help.
What? This? Watch.
It's estimated that California will need 11 trillion gallons of water to end this 4-year drought.
Since 1994, COC has made an effort to ensure all structures on campus are built with earthquakes in mind.
The importance of accuracy is key to Paul Bond's reporting. Such a story where facts could be easily exaggerated might just cause Bond to return back to South Korea.
Although filming at College of the Canyons generates upwards of $1 million a year.
Today, everyone is here to celebrate one thing. Live.
More than 3,000 participants ran locally in support for finding a cure for spinal cord injury.
What are you doing? Go watch the news or something. Awesome town, I swear.
You're watching Cougar News.
For a record 12th time, California's most prodigious bike race will make a stop in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Amgen Tour, which will race from San Diego to Sacramento next May, will include a stage that begins in Pasadena, winding its way through the San Gabriel Mountains before finishing near the Westfield Mall town center. Last year, the tour spent 2 days in town after bad weather forced organizers to move a stage finish from Big Bear to Magic Mountain. Santa Clarita officials are pleased the area is popular for race organizers, saying hotels and restaurants benefit economically when cyclists and crews roll through town.
A local event gave Southern Californians a chance to get dirty for a cause. Austin Westfall brings us the rundown from this year's SEB Mud Run.
Thrill seekers and athletes alike turned out to the Jack Bones Equestrian Center in Castaic to get down and dirty in the 20th annual SEB Mud Run Saturday. The event featured several different types of runs, one of which was held in an effort to benefit Peyton's Project, a charity which aims to fund research to fight a rare genetic disorder.
We're out here just raising awareness and trying to raise money for Duchenne muscular dystrophy, which is an aggressive muscle wasting disease. And we started the foundation 2 years ago after we found out that Peyton was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And so this became a cause for us to get behind to help other kids and families who are struggling with this disease as well.
The event attracted hundreds of squeaky clean participants.
Today, I got dirty.
All of which came out covered in mud.
We just want to thank everybody who came out for their support, because it's really crucial that we raise money, because it's a very expensive disease to fight. And just looking at these kids, Peyton has a smile that lights up a room, and he deserves a chance in life. So thank everybody for coming out.
Information about future Peyton's Project fundraisers can be found on the organization's website. For Cougar News, I'm Austin Westfall.
So Alexis, it looks like the COC football team is doing pretty well right now.
Yeah, they're almost done with season and they still continue to put up impressive numbers. Coming off their first loss of the season, the COC football team carried their heavy fighting momentum into last Saturday's conference game. The Cougars traveled to Allen Hancock and left victorious with a 42-24 win. They are now 6-1 overall and remain undefeated in conference play. Devin Dunn threw for 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. Another tough game will be played this Saturday at home against Ventura. Kickoff will be at 1 p.m. It was another exciting week in Foothill League football action. The Golden Valley Grizzlies, coming off their first ever league win, put up a fight against the undefeated Hart Indians. Grizzlies jumped out to an early lead when Victor Corona found Julian Torres in the corner end zone for a 28-yard touchdown pass. But Hart would not give up. They fired back when Nick Moore passes to Ethan Lazarak for a 73-yard touchdown run to tie the game at 7 in the second quarter. Coming out of the half, Hart's defense continued to struggle, but Hart's defense would not be stopped. AJ Stanley had not 1, not 2, but 5 school record-breaking interceptions. The Grizzlies take a 14-7 lead when Corona finds Torres in the back end zone. Moore then finds a hole and carries the ball in for a 25-yard touchdown run to tie the game in the fourth quarter. The next series, Moore is taken out after an injury after collapsing and dropping back. The game remains tied, and in overtime, Golden Valley scores first on a trick play when Corona tosses the ball to Camacho, who finds Darius Anthony for the touchdown. Hart responds when C.J. Susat 3-yard run to score. Andrew Nielsen kicks a 32-yard field goal to give the Indians their first lead. The Grizzlies had one last chance, but it fell short when A.J. Stanley catches his 5th interception in the back end zone. The Hart Indians win 24-21, but it comes at a cost. Nick Moore is confirmed to be out for the remainder of the season with an ACL tear. Kinnan has not missed the playoffs since 2008, but it looks like this season will end the 7-year streak. Saugus proved they wanted it more Friday night with their 31-14 victory over the now 0-3 Cowboys. The Centurions were not going to be stopped. They jumped out on an early lead on a Luis Eusebi 69 touchdown run. Canyon responded quickly when Miles Fallon throws a backwards pass to Markel Taylor, who finds open field and takes it in all the way for 53 yards to tie the game 7-7. But Saugus and Eusebi, they were on it again. He finds Jamie Whistler in the back end zone to give Saugus a huge 17-6 lead into the halftime. After half, Canyon finds a little bit of rhythm when Fallon finds Absey in triple coverage at the 1-yard line. On the next play, Fallon pushes through the end zone on a cornerback sneak. Canyon comes within 3 points, but that was the closest they were going to come all night. They lose their 5th straight game. The Valencia Vikings have proved every Friday why they're the 6-time defending Foothill League football champions. The Vikings quickly made it clear that their offense would not be stopped in their 44-6 victory over the West Ranch Wildcats. Cole Parkinson opens up the game with a huge touchdown pass to Eli Doyle. And on the next series, Parkinson hands the balls off to Andre Alday, who fights his way into the end zone. The offense continues to turn up the score as Parkinson does a trick play and keeps the ball running into a wide-open end zone. Valencia's defense also shined that night. Jamar Berkeley picks off West Ranch's Jackson Clark, who finishes the game 6 for 16. The Vikings improved to 3-0 in the league as they hunt for their 7th straight Foothill League title. COC's women's volleyball have had quite the impressive season thus far. They are ranked number 4 in Southern California and number 5 in the state. The Cougars defeated conference rival Bakersfield in a 3-1 game series. They are 16-2 overall and remain undefeated in conference play. Emily Bible led the game with 16 kills, and teammate Erica McGee followed right behind her with 12. The Cougars will play at home this Friday against West LA at 6 p.m. They will look to keep their 6-game winning streak alive. COC's men's cross-country team earned first place in their conference last week, and the women's team finished in second. The Cougars men's soccer team beat Moore Park yesterday and is now 4-2-6 in conference action. And what an afternoon for Marissa Kniesel in a win over Antelope Valley. She broke the record of 36 goals in a season originally set 2 years ago by Stacy Atwater. The Cougars improved to 6-0-3 in conference play. And that's all for sports. I'm Alexis Williams. Now back to you.
Thanks, Alexis. Southern Californians said farewell to a prominent charity motorcycle ride this past week. Cougar News went up to Castaic Lake to talk with the event's longtime organizer and check out its special musical guests.
Bikers and headbangers from around the country rode into Castaic Lake last week to celebrate the Love Ride for a final time.
We just finished our grand finale, our last Love Ride, and I'm happy to say it was a tremendous success. We probably had at least 15,000 people. I don't know all the numbers for sure, and I know we raised well over $1 million, so that makes me a happy guy.
The Foo Fighters headlined the event, and all proceeds went to benefit the Wounded Warriors Project, which helps injured service members returning from the battlefield and helps to provide assistance to their families.
This is the grand finale, but the Love Ride Foundation is going to continue on, and we're going to find another way to raise money for those less fortunate.
To keep up with the Love Ride, you can visit them on the web at loveride.org. For Cougar News, I'm Austin Westfall.
Just a reminder that there will be a free walk-in flu shot clinic this Friday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at COC's East Physical Education Gym. Residents at 6 months of age and older, including healthy adults, are encouraged to receive the vaccination. That does it for this edition of Cougar News. I'm Aaron Lanuza. Remember, you can catch us on the web at cougarnews.com.
And I'm Jake Barabas. You can also send us news tips and story ideas to our Twitter handle, COC_Cougar News. Don't forget, daylight savings time is this weekend, so before you fall asleep Saturday night, set your clock back 1 hour. Have a good night, everybody.